Have you ever wondered what led to the famed Battle of Stirling Bridge? Let's go back to the late summer of 1297 in the heart of Scotland. A revolt had been sparked by none other than Andrew Moray, a figure of grit and determination from the north. His uprising had gained momentum, and before long, the Scottish forces had seized control of several key cities. The land was teeming with a rekindled hope for independence, a flame that was growing brighter with each passing day. Now imagine the scene. The English forces, under the command of John de Warenne and Hugh de Cressingham, were camped south of the meandering River Forth. Their position seemed advantageous, with the river acting as a natural barrier between them and the Scots. But they were facing a significant tactical disadvantage. A narrow bridge and causeway were all that linked the English camp to the Scottish forces. This bottleneck would prove to be a strategic nightmare for the English, as we'll soon see. The Scottish forces, led by Moray and the legendary William Wallace, were well aware of their enemy's predicament. They knew that the narrow bridge would limit the number of English troops that could cross at any given time, giving them the chance to face a fraction of the enemy forces. The English, however, were stubbornly holding their ground, their pride refusing to acknowledge the precariousness of their situation. Negotiations were attempted, but neither side was willing to compromise. The English, confident in their numerical superiority, were dismissive of the Scottish demands. The Scots, on the other hand, were unwilling to give up their hard-fought gains. It was a classic stalemate, with both sides refusing to yield. And so, the tension continued to mount, the air thick with anticipation. The English, with their numbers and resources, and the Scots, with their strategic position and unyielding spirit. Who would blink first? Who would make the first move? With both sides refusing to back down, the stage was set for a historic clash. The 11th of September, 1297, a date that would be etched in history for the epic battle that unfolded. On this fateful day, the winds of war blew across the Stirling Bridge, a silent witness to the clash of clans, the dance of destiny. Negotiations had reached a bitter impasse, the air heavy with the scent of impending battle. As the English troops, seemingly oblivious to their tactical disadvantage, began to cross the narrow bridge and causeway, the Scots saw their opportunity. With the strategic genius of Andrew Moray and the undaunted courage of William Wallace, they seized the moment and launched their attack. The battle raged on, a symphony of steel and valor. The Scots took control of the east side of the bridge, a pivotal move that effectively severed the English forces. Like a master chess player predicting his opponent's moves, Moray's strategy had unfolded to devastating effect. Cut off from their comrades across the river, the English found themselves trapped, outnumbered, and outmaneuvered. The bravery of the Scots was a sight to behold. In the face of a formidable enemy, they stood resolute, their hearts ablaze with the fire of freedom. Their leaders, Moray and Wallace, were the embodiment of this spirit. Their courage radiated through the battlefield, inspiring their men to fight with every ounce of their strength. As the day wore on, the English found themselves in an increasingly desperate situation. The Scots, with their superior positioning and strategic acumen, were relentless. The English troops on the east side of the bridge faced a grim fate, their numbers dwindling with each passing moment. The remaining English forces, seeing the hopelessness of their situation, made the decision to retreat. In a final act of defiance, they destroyed the bridge behind them, as if to prevent the victorious Scots from pursuing them. The outnumbered English soldiers on the east side faced a grim fate, while the remaining forces beat a hasty retreat, destroying the bridge in their wake. A day that had dawned with the promise of battle had ended with a decisive victory for the Scots, a testament to their bravery, their leaders, and their unwavering spirit. In the wake of the Battle of Stirling Bridge, the landscape of Scotland was forever changed. The aftermath of this epic clash was not just a matter of counting casualties or assessing damage. It was a turning point that altered the course of Scottish history. The victorious Scots, led by the indomitable William Wallace, not only held their ground, but also launched a counter-offensive. They raided the south, penetrating as far as Durham, England. This was not just a show of strength, but a message to the English. The Scots would not be subdued. They would fight and reclaim their land. This victory, however, did more than just bolster the Scottish morale. It solidified Wallace's position as a leader. He was appointed the Guardian of Scotland and the commander of its army, a position of immense responsibility. Yet in the hands of a man who had proven himself on the battlefield, it was a beacon of hope for the Scots. But the Battle of Stirling Bridge was not the end of the conflict. It was a spark that ignited a larger flame. Edward I of England, not one to take defeat lightly, began planning another invasion, leading to the Battle of Falkirk. This set the stage for further conflict, a clash of wills between two determined nations. The legacy of the Battle of Stirling Bridge is not confined to the annals of history. It lives on in the spirit of Scotland, in the courage of its people, and in the tales that have been passed down through generations. The name William Wallace, the tactics employed, the victory against the odds, all of these have been studied, admired, and immortalized in ballads and stories. The Battle of Stirling Bridge, a pivotal episode in the First War of Scottish Independence, has been immortalized in tales and ballads, its heroes and strategies studied and admired to this day. The echoes of this battle still resound, reminding us of the undying spirit of freedom and the courage of those who fight for it. To encapsulate the essence of the Battle of Stirling Bridge, we must remember it as a pivotal point in the First War of Scottish Independence. A revolt led by Andrew Moray and William Wallace surged through the summer of 1297, seizing control of several cities and culminating in this historic clash near Stirling. The Scots used the narrow bridge to their advantage, creating a tactical disadvantage for the English forces led by John de Warenne and Hugh de Cressingham. The Scots' strategic prowess was evident as they launched an attack only after a significant number of English troops had crossed the bridge. This masterstroke led to a resounding victory, with the Scots gaining control of the east side of the bridge, cutting off English reinforcements. The English forces faced heavy losses, while the remaining troops retreated, leaving the bridge in ruins. The aftermath of the battle saw the Scots raiding south as far as Durham, England. Wallace, the hero of the hour, was appointed Guardian of Scotland and commander of its army. This victory, however, was not the end but a spark that ignited further conflicts, leading to the Battle of Falkirk. The Battle of Stirling Bridge, a testament to strategic brilliance and indomitable spirit, continues to inspire and intrigue us centuries later.